This video is sponsored by Deep Cut Studios. For a wide range of fantastic gaming resources such as battle mats, dice trays and pre-painted bases, check out the description below.
Not much is known about English Ivan's past, and what is known is probably a lie. I mean, I'm pretty sure his name isn't really Ivan, and I am damn sure he isn't English. The only real facts are from recent history, and even that's sketchy. Working for and possibly against the Metal and Steam Fitters Union, as well as being part of an organization called the DUA, or the Department of Ungentlemanly Affairs. Not to mention rumors of him being part of numerous plots over the years. Whatever his background, his talents at information gathering and asset acquisitions are undeniable. Able to almost just walk into places he shouldn't be, and use his charms to get information from even the most stubborn and tight-lipped folks. The Explorer Society, hearing of his talents, actually hired him for a few jobs, and although a couple were quite easy for someone of his skills, one in particular nearly killed him and changed him into something else. It involved acquiring an artifact that was believed to have the ability to control shadows. However, when Ivan grabbed it, he quickly realized it wasn't just any relic, but a doorway. A doorway to a dimension beyond Earth and Malifaux, transporting him to a plane of darkness where shadows lay. Shadows that would have ripped him apart if his colleagues from the DUA hadn't helped him out. When he came back to the world of light, he came back changed, in tune with the shadows around him, giving him the ability to control them. Mostly. First were the nocturnes, strange animal shadows that thankfully had no problem following his orders. Then there were the devas, creatures born from the shadows of English Ivan's unfortunate targets. Unlike the nocturnes, the devas were intelligent and hated being dragged into the world of light. They arise eager to tear apart the being they were once attached to, and the person who had summoned them in the first place. The only reason they don't immediately attack Ivan and reluctantly follow his orders is because they know he's the only one that can bring them back to their dark home. There are also dead things in that dimension, although whether they were natives of that land or the spirits of other humans, unfortunate enough to die in that shadowy hell, I don't know. What I do know is that these broken specters don't much like that Ivan escaped, and constantly come to our world to drag Ivan back. These creatures became such a problem that Ivan had to pick the brain of an associate of his, a Mr. Gibson DeWalt, an engineer who, although only working for the DUA due to extenuating circumstances, still finds the challenges the organization presents to him quite enjoyable. With a bit of tinkering, Gibson was able to build a Faraday collar that binds the specter into a solid and controllable form. Although the broken specters are pliable for now, they constantly fight against their bondage, and if one of them does escape, Ivan will hopefully have the help of Ava Havenhand, another DUA peer, a foul-mouthed woman who isn't afraid to tell whoever she works with how she really feels about them. And although most people won't appreciate her brutal honesty, most learn to keep their mouths shut if they don't want to get a lashing from her electric whip. When Ivan was stuck in that dark place, his mind and spirit were literally torn apart, and then recombined with pieces of the Umbra surrounding him. And what emerged was Ivan, and a shadowy being Ivan has come to call Mr. Mordrake. Mr. Mordrake, at least for now, seems content to remain English Ivan's shadow, biding his time until Ivan finds himself in a bit of a bind, and consciously takes a backseat in his own mind, a signal for Mr. Mordrake to unleash Ivan's dark side. Otherwise, when not unleashing hell, Mr. Mordrake likes to feast on little memory fragments floating around in Ivan's head, secrets being the tastiest of them. The more he eats, the more alive and in control he feels. A fact that isn't lost on Ivan. For the first time in recent memory, the smooth, suave, and confident English Ivan is worried, asking himself questions about what had really happened to him in that dimension of shadows. Because he has a gut feeling that the English Ivan that stepped into that horrible place was not the same one that stepped out. And if that's the case, what will happen to him when the truth finally comes to light?
Hi guys, and welcome back to our Malifaux Masters breakdown, where we showcase the factions and personalities vying for soulstones and dominance within the Broken City. Today's episode features the shady dealings of the Department of Ungentlemanly Affairs and their operative lead, English Ivan of the Explorer Society. Ivan's crew excel at the mid-range game, where they can effectively make use of destructible concealing shadow markers and the distracted condition to limit the enemy's long-distance options while augmenting their own. From here, they're able to pick off targets, which can in turn fuel the Master's incidental summoning as the battles continue. The dual nature of the DUA and Umbra keywords mean that the crew can use shadow markers for a variety of benefits. For the operatives, their main source of assistance is the Ungentlemanly Affairs trait, which converts any negative modifiers from concealment, distracted, and friendly fire into positives. On the other hand, the Dark Beasts of the Umbra are able to remove a friendly shadow marker within 3 inches for a quick heal for 2 hit points, keeping them topped up while engaging the enemy. Heading the DUA task force is the enigmatic English Ivan, a range master who can summon Umbra minions into base contact with enemy forces thanks to his runic siphon's intercision trigger. Ivan's Black Mirror allows him to shuffle conditions over to his totem, while Dark Deception can reduce damage to 0 when within 2 inches of a friendly shadow marker. Sustaining Shadows allow passive healing within 6 inches, while the Shade Step bonus action allows an easy teleport into concealing terrain within the same range. Finally, Ivan is excellent at targeting an enemy's movement thanks to his Black Soulstone Shockwave and Encroaching Shadows tactical action, allowing him to exploit bubble crews. Accompanying Ivan is his darker counterpart, Mr. Mordrake, a 6 Soulstone totem who emanates a concealing aura for his master to bounce into, or can mirror the trick himself thanks to the same bonus action. Mordrake again builds on movement targeting thanks to his Drag Under range staggering attack and the Reach Through melee action. The totem's final party trick is its Demise ability, which allows it to place itself back next to Ivan with a cost of 2 irreducible damage to the master. Joining the DUA's ranks is the shared syndicate henchman Corvus Rook, a brutal beta model who can force enemies to either discard and take 2 damage, or take a non-bonus action thanks to the pressure willpower attack. Rook's backroom dealings allow him to see the opponent's control hand, while the price of progress allows him to sustain a damage to choose any suit for his excellent stat 7 staggering punch. Expect to see him front and centre controlling scrums and slowing the advance of key targets. Alternatively, for a Soulstone Lesh, you could hire the exceptional Gibson DeWalt, who offers fantastic versatility through his actions as well as the always handy tools for the job ability. DeWalt's anti-luminal bridge trigger on his bonus action offers fascinating options for movement between shadow markers, while the mechanical Firefly Shockwave can dish out double distracted and a free Umbra close combat attack thanks to the nuclear shadow trigger. If it's enforcers you're looking for, then the DUA do present one such individual in Eva Havenhand, who sports excellent control thanks to a 2-inch melee attack, secret passage tactical action, and the lock away bonus, which forces enemies to only take walk and disengage actions when within 2 inches of a target marker. Eva's flexible morality is shared with Corvus Rook, enforcing discarded cards, while Don't Mind Me makes her an excellent schemer when combined with secret passage. Moving over to minions, and with the first Umbra miniature in the Brocken Spectre, a terrifying 11 beta who can cause irreducible damage thanks to its Death Touch, making the Ghost an excellent hunter of Soulstone users. The Withering Away ability shuts down enemy healing within 2 inches, while the Hallowed Glory tactical action makes full use of the Spectre's 40 mil base for crowd control. Sticking with the Umbra, and we have the Slender Man known as the Daver, suitably tricky customers who can reduce the defense of enemies in base contact as well as sticking to those that leave thanks to their Clingy ability, which can lead to follow-up attacks thanks to their Made to Kill. The Daver possess an interesting stat 5 mimic action, allowing them to borrow an ability from a non-master within 6 inches until the end phase, adding some really helpful versatility. If you're looking for something a little bit quicker, then consider the Move 6 Nocturne, 5 Soulstone Scheme Runners who are surprisingly tanky thanks to the reclaimed Shadow Heal that the Umbra possess. Dusk Hunter allows the Shadow Beaters to augment their attack actions, while Displace can be used to move friend or foe alike around the board. Finally, at a cheap 5 Soulstones, we have the excellent Operative, a model that is not treated as an enemy by the opponent thanks to their Infiltrator ability, which also allows them to use the keyword of their foes during their actions. On top of this, the operative has great range in attacking options and decent movement thanks to the ambush tactical action, making them very efficient for their cost. Ivan's followers excel at controlling the pace of the game, determining when and where engagement occurs, and only after the operatives have taken full advantage of their positive flip shooting. From there, the Umbra minions swarm on key targets to again provide friendly fire bonuses while also pinning them in place with staggered and distracted conditions. The high defences of both keywords allows them to be surprisingly tanky, and naturally placed to scheme and strat pools that encourage a prolonged engagement. That being said, the high movement of both the Master and the Nocturne mean that spread out scheming is also a very viable option. On top of this, Ivan's threat from summoning coupled with the Undying Totem makes this consistent threat build and build throughout the game, while the high movement of the Nocturne and the operatives are really good for tying up tricky wing models. If you're struggling against Ivan and his shadowy friends, then fear not, there are steps that you can take to limit their effectiveness. First of which is a keyword that can impose its own game plan before the explorers can get set up. Alpha Strike aggression, speedy schemers, and placement mechanics will all mess with the Umbra's ability to pin you down, while mass marker removal can quickly halt the advances of the shadows and limit the effectiveness of ungentlemanly affairs. Finally, use of willpower or movement targeting attacks can be highly effective at chipping through the crew's defences, as can condition damage. Finally, if you'd like to take the DUA out for a spin, then consider the following starter list, which provides a strong core of Brocken Spectres and Eva to lock down the centre of the board, while your remaining models secure schemes and eliminate key targets. Once you've grown accustomed to the shadows, consider versatile options such as the Intrepid Emissary and Tenenbaum for excellent tech picks. So that brings us to the end of this Malifaux Masters breakdown. We hope it's been useful in giving you a snapshot of the crew and its mechanics. Additionally, a massive thank you to the wonderful stylings of Arvandus who you heard in the introduction. You can find more information about his channel down in the description below. For more talk about Malifaux and its masters, why not check out our podcast, The Harlefaux Show, where we break down each keyword and why you should play it. Alternatively, we have a wealth of beginner-friendly battle reports here on the channel that guide players through every flip and decision. Whichever you choose, we look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, folks. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching our content. It means the world to us. If you'd like to see some more videos, they should be over here. And if you'd like to support our channel, keep these lights on. You can find links to our Patreon and merchandise in the description below. See you later.